Hey guys, it's Rachiee, and today I have a video for you guys about my favorite foundations for the warmer weather. Wearing foundation in the warmer weather is a struggle for any kind of skin type. I have oily skin, so it's extremely hard for me, but I know everyone in the summertime has a hard time with their foundation staying on because of the heat, and sometimes your makeup will break down and you need a really good long wearing foundation. So today I want to share my favorites with you guys. I have some that are high-end, some at the drugstore. I also have matte finish and more of a dewy natural finish, so I have something for everyone. So let's get started. So the first foundation I want to talk about is my favorite foundation for the warmer season, and it's the Estee Lauder Double Wear. As you can see, I love it so much. I have two shades. I have one for when I'm really dark and one for when I'm like lighter. So I have the 2W2 Rattan shade for when I'm lighter, and I have the 3N2 shade for when I'm like tan in the summertime. And the reason I love this foundation so much is because it feels really lightweight on the skin. It doesn't feel heavy like Ripple and Color Stain things can feel like, but it has a very nice kind of natural matte finish where it doesn't look too cakey, but it gives really good coverage. It has a good like medium coverage, and it also lasts really well on the skin, and it doesn't break down. Sometimes higher coverage foundations, you can like tell when they're breaking down on your face, and this doesn't do that. This lasts a good like 5 hours before I get greasy in the summertime. So if you want the staying power of Estee Lauder Double Wear but you don't want the matte finish, I would totally go for the Estee Lauder Double Wear Light. Now don't be scared when it says light on it, because it doesn't have lighter coverage. It has just as good, maybe a light medium coverage, not full on medium coverage, but this foundation has more of a dewy natural finish to your skin. Not a dewy finish because you're not shiny, but you have more of a natural finish, whereas this one is matte, so it doesn't look quite as matte as it. So if you're not quite as oily and you don't need a matte foundation, I really like this one. And I wear the shade Intensity 3.0. This is just as good as the Double Wear original that I have here. So these two like foundations are really good and long wearing, and they don't break down your skin and look weird, so love these two foundations. So my second go-to foundation for the summertime is powder foundation, because some days it's so hot and humid that I don't want to put liquid on my face. So my favorite powder foundations are the Bare Minerals ones. I have the Blemish Remedial one with this extremely reflective packaging, so let me turn that around. I wear the shade Clearly Silk. This is my light shade. And then I also have a regular Bare Minerals matte. This is in the shade Golden Tan. And the reason I like this specific powder foundation is because some powder foundations, you put them on and they look nice, and then a couple hours later they wear off and you're like, where did it go? And the reason I love these foundations is because it has really good coverage. Some powder foundations look light and don't cover that much, but I'm telling you, you can get full coverage from these foundations. I've done it before when I had really bad acne. So you can get really good full coverage from this, and you can also get a light coverage depending on what brush you use. If you use a dense buffing brush, you get full coverage. If you want more of a lighter one, use like a fluffy powder brush. And I love these foundations because even though it's a powder, it doesn't disappear off your skin. Like, you will have coverage there all throughout the day. It might get a little bit dewy because powder foundations aren't really as good at oil control as some liquid ones are, but it won't disappear off your face, which I find is a problem with some other powder foundations I've tried. So I definitely recommend these foundations if you're into powder foundations. The next two foundations are from the drugstore, and they're newer foundations on the market, and I love them so much. So the first one is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. This stuff, it says matte, but don't think it's a flat kind of matte. It's kind of a natural satin matte kind of finish, so it looks a little bit more natural on the skin. I wear the shade 220 Natural Beige if you're curious, and the reason I love this is because it has really good coverage. It's like medium to full coverage, I would say, and it literally blurs your pores out and makes it look like nothing is there. It's crazy. Your skin looks like satin. It doesn't break down on your skin. I wore this in Hawaii. Hawaii is very, very hot. I was there in the winter time, but it was still like 80 degrees, and this lasted me in Hawaii. And I got a little bit oily on my nose, but my face stayed pretty much like the natural satin finish that I started with. So I love this foundation so much. It's going to be amazing in the summertime. I know it, because if it can stand Hawaii's humidity and heat, it could withstand the weather here. So I'm really excited to use this, and it's drugstore, so it's cheap and it's really good. The next foundation is a really newfound love. I bought it, I think, a couple weeks ago. I've quickly fallen in love with it, and this is the Rimmel Lasting Finish 25-Hour Foundation. I wear the shade 203 True Beige, and I will say the shade range to this foundation is a drawback because 203 True Beige is the second darkest color, and I am nowhere near my summer shade right now. So if you're very dark, say darker than like an NC35, maybe there is one darker shade, so maybe NC42s might be able to work with the darkest shade. But if you're dark skinned, you're not going to be able to use this, which is a downside to this foundation, because this is an amazing foundation. And the reason I'm so attracted to this foundation is because it has more of a natural kind of dewy finish. I'm wearing it right now. I don't know if you can see. I did powder my face. It's not super dewy, like, I don't know, it's a very dewy foundation. Like the NARS Sheer Glow, or what's the other one? Like the L'Oreal Lumi, it's not as glowy as those foundations. I would say it's pretty comparable to the L'Oreal True Match kind of finish, where it's natural but there is a little bit of a glow to the skin. It's kind of like that. This one has way better staying power. When you first apply it, it has kind of a natural dewy finish, and usually I cannot use a foundation that has a natural dewy finish to start with because my oils are crazy, and anything that is not matte will look like a grease ball on me in a couple hours. But today I wore this foundation for around 5 to 6 hours through testing in a sweaty gym, and I slept during my test, so I had my, you know, my face on my head. What am I saying? My face on my arm when I was sleeping, and it didn't transfer off, and it lasted really well. The coverage is really good coverage, like medium to full. I would say it's amazing coverage. I don't even conceal like my acne scars over here when I wear this. If you want a long wearing foundation with more of a dewy finish, I would definitely recommend this one. And before I wrap up this video, I do want to mention 2 foundations I don't have on me right now, but I know work amazingly in the warm weather. The first one is the Hourglass Immaculate Foundation. It's a liquid to powder foundation. It's really expensive, but it is amazing if you have oily skin. If you have the slightest dry patch, don't even bother trying it because of the formula, it will claim the dry patches. But if you have the oiliest of the oily skin, aka me, you will not get oily. I wore that foundation to a summer concert, and my face stayed in place for 7 hours. I only touched up once throughout the night. It has a nice kind of light to medium buildable kind of finish to it, and it's very, very matte. I'm telling you, super matte. It's liquid to powder. It's very, very, very matte, which is why I'm warning you that only if you have very oily skin, try it out. I'm telling you, that is the best mattifying foundation on the market. It will control your oils, and you seriously will not need to touch up. So I'd recommend that one if you have super oily skin. And then the last one I want to mention is the CoverGirl 3-in-1 foundation. That foundation has super, 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 like, heavy coverage. It's heavier coverage than the Estee Lauder Double Wear. It doesn't feel heavier on the skin, but has a lot of coverage to it. So if you want a really heavy coverage foundation, if you have like a lot of acne scars or something, I'd recommend that one because, as I said earlier, sometimes heavy coverage foundations can look kind of weird in the summertime because they break down on you. But the CoverGirl 3-in-1 lasts really well on my super oily skin, and I don't have a problem with it. And the coverage still lasts throughout the whole entire day, and I just love that foundation. I don't have it with me right now because I used it up, but I just wanted to throw that one in as well because it's an amazing foundation. So guys, that's the end of this video. I hope you found something helpful and found a foundation that you want to try out. Leave down below your favorite long wearing foundations for the summertime because I need all the help I can get, to be honest. Don't forget to like and thumbs up so you don't miss out on any videos I post in the future. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!